It's a very good story and quite amazing. So the week before I died, my father-in-law passed away. So my daughter Sarah, who had just had a baby, was up visiting, and I was excited to see her. So I worked extra hard at work. I managed this estate sale store, so I worked really hard. I was moving furniture around. I came home. My friend Allison and my other friend Gretchen, they happened to stop over. We sat and visited for a little while. I was trying to call people. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I couldn't get a hold of Sarah. So I was just like, I'm going to get up in the morning, have breakfast with her. I was excited about that. I was excited to see my daughter. And while I was sitting in the chair, I was having a snack of applesauce and pepperoni. Salt bomb, sugar bomb. No, not good. And I said to myself, I wonder how much of this I can eat before I actually have a heart attack. I need to change my life. I got up, I went to bed. As soon as I laid down, this thing started in my chest, and it felt like contractions, and it was strange. And in my head, this thing popped in my head that someone had sent, that when you're home alone having a heart attack, if you go like this and it stops, it's not a heart attack, it's probably a panic attack. So I did that, and it didn't stop. And I said out loud, oh my God, am I having a heart attack? And this voice came, and it was loud, and it was outside of me. And it said, you're going to have to get up. You're going to have to put something on. You're going to have to go right now. You're going to have to drive yourself to the hospital. You need to get in the car, and you need to go right now. I listened. I got up. I put on this big night shirt. It was between July 14th and 15th of 2017. I grabbed my keys. I grabbed my phone. And I went out and I got in my car and I started driving. The hospital's 3 miles from where I'm at. As I'm driving down the road, I can hear, hurry, go, hurry, go, hurry, go. And I'm thinking all these things in my head because this voice is here like somebody is really with me. But I also have my regular thoughts like, I hope the police see me. I hope I can get some help. I need to get there. I hope I don't hurt anybody. So I'm driving. I get down the street. I turn left to go up to the hospital. I still had about 1.5 miles to go.
Down on the ground.
The voice stopped and the pain stopped. And I thought, oh, I'm having a panic attack. I'm having the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life. I'm crazy. I'm going home. I pulled in that place to turn around. I started to go to come back home, and the voice came back loud and hurry. And it said, no, you must continue. You must go. Hurry, go. And then it was hurry, go, hurry, go. And I was driving 75 miles an hour to get to the hospital. I got there, I pulled in, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be here for a while. I can't park by the door. And then I'm like, I don't have a handicap placard. I can't park there. So I'm trying to park the closest place I can get into there and not be in the way. And then I realized I have to call somebody. I tried to call my daughter, Katie. She answered the phone. I let her know where I was. I said, I'm at Conneaut Hospital. I'm having a heart attack, I think. Come. She said, where are you? I said, I'm at Conneaut Hospital. Come. She said, okay. So I knew my people knew where I was, and it was between me and God. And I just looked up because I didn't know at that point if I could make it from my car to the door. And if I had gone down, no one would find me because nobody was out there. It's a small area. So I just asked God to get me in there. I walked in the door. I said to the girl, who's the daughter of a friend of mine, I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. She popped open the door, and there was the head nurse, Dave Shoemate, and he looked at me with this horror look on his face. And I thought, because like I said, all this stuff is happening, but then my brain is still working on the inside. I'm thinking, why is he looking at me like that? I'm not bleeding. He was looking at me with horror. He got up and he stammered and he got me, and we started walking to this bed, and I could see this bed. The light was shining on the bed, you know, the emergency room light. And I started going and my legs gave out, and he got me on the bed. And then the doctor came in and they started pulling all this stuff off and doing all this stuff. And they said, yes, you're in full-blown cardiac arrest. Where do you want to go? And I'm thinking, heaven or hell? He said, no, Cleveland or Erie. True. And I'm like, you know, trying to think, and he's talking to me and he's asking me these questions. And I wanted to go to Erie. St. Vincent's is where I wanted to go. And then while I'm sitting there and they're working on me, I sat up and I grabbed my keys and my phone for some reason, and I said, "Get my baby here. Get my baby here." And I started screaming like a lunatic, and I didn't even care. I just wanted to get my baby there. And then I said, I'm going. And my hand clenched like this, and it started raising above my head. And I was watching it, and I was looking at them, and I'm looking at my hand, and I said, I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. And then I was gone, and I was in the most amazing place. It was like coming up out of an elevator. It was like that. I was like, it was fast, and it was right there. And I come up, and there were people everywhere, and they all had on white gowns. And to the left of me was this gentleman, and he had the most confused look on his face. And I thought, because I'm considerate, I guess, I thought, wow, he's in worse shape than I am. And I watched him walk. And as he walked past me, he had this gaze fixed going in his direction, and I followed it, and then boom, there was my boyfriend, who I loved so much. He actually passed away 15 months after this, but he was still alive when this happened, and he was the only one that had on regular clothes. He had on his Grateful Dead tie-dye and his green khaki pants, and he was as he was, and he was there, and he was smiling at me with the most loving smile, and I was so excited to see him. All I could say was, "What are you doing here?" But I don't think I used my mouth. I think I just said that. And he just smiled, and then behind him, I saw my dog Luna come out behind this silver veil. It was like a silver veil hanging, and it gathered at the bottom. I saw her run out and then run back behind it, and then I saw, like a city skyline, all of my animals that I ever lost. They were all just sitting there. Had a lot of animals. They were all sitting there. And then I looked back at Rich, and I smiled, and then he waved his hand like this, and the people kind of parted, and I could see down, way down, a little to the left. Everybody needs to calm down, because heaven's just a little to the left. Righties need to calm down. So anyway, I see these people, and they're in a circle, and they all have on white gowns, but they have the most beautiful color sashes, and I can see them flowing. And then the color of Easter, the soft, beautiful pastels, and I could see purple and green and yellow and blue. And then here, I got judged. I do believe I got judged, because they also say, when you first get up there, you can hear, I guess this would be the music, but it wasn't music. It's Israel, 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 Israel. They said that, Israel, Israel. It's not Israel, I don't think. It's Israel. Yes, Israel. And for some reason, people who are, and the words that I used in my head, people who are, you know, when you just like have to deal with people and you're like, man, what a, those people are blessings. Those people who challenge us, they showed me they are blessings, because they teach us things, they grow us, and they are important, and they matter, and they help us. Even if we think we're better than them, no. We are all so very loved, so very loved, because they also said, as I said in our thread, they said, Israel, Israel, and they said, the end is near, but do not fear. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is loved. And that's when they gave me the knowledge of people who are dicks are blessings too, and that every single person is loved. Every single being on this earth is loved so much. And as I was being judged, my biggest thing, my biggest regret was that I didn't love myself more, because God loves us so much. And I also got that the free will, the gift of the free will that we have, so that if we want to be dicks and we want to do bad things and we want to live life, it's all forgiven. It's all okay. We do at the end face ourselves and the things that we do to hurt people and the things that we do to hurt animals. We do feel that pain and we do regret those things. So the best thing to do is try and be kind, because it's just going to make your life easier. And everybody has a bad day. Love everybody. So back to my death. So I saw these people and I started going for them, the gowns. I thought it was important that you know that they told me that stuff. The gowns, and I'm going, and everything is gone. Everything, I am free. It's like being 4. You don't have any worry. You're just excited to see what's next. You just can't wait to see what's next. Everything is gone. Everything is lifted, and it's the most wonderful feeling. And I was going, and I was not looking back, and I was on my way. And then these sparks start coming out of my, and I'm like, they're coming out, and I feel like somebody's got an electrical extension cord and they're poking me with it and they're pissing me off, and I'm trying to brush it off, and I'm like, you know, trying to brush it off, and then all of a sudden, kind of what it sounded like. I was back in the emergency room, and I have never been so angry in my life. I was so angry. But there I was. And then the next thing I know, my daughter comes in and she's over top of me and she's like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mom, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. I said, you're going to have to, I said, tell the grandbabies about me. Tell your brother and sister I love them. I have no regrets. I love you. It's going to be okay. You're going to have to be strong. And then they took her away from me, and they took her in. This was before I knew about benzos. They took her, and she's like down on the ground, and she's screaming, and she's screaming. I'm like, give her Xanax. Give her Xanax. No, it's Xanax. And then the next thing I know, I'm back. I'm back up at heaven. I was dead 21 minutes the first time. Second time, it was 8 minutes. So here I am, back. And I'm happy. And I know the difference between here and there. And it's not like a dream. And it's as solid as this. And it's real, is real. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting for all the cool stuff to happen again so I can get down that hallway or wherever it was I was going to get to those people. I was still surrounded by people in white gowns, and it's like a street fair. Like, it's super crowded, but it's not crowded. Like when you're walking around a street fair and you got room to move, it's great. It's like that's what it was like. And I was standing there and I'm waiting for this stuff to happen, and then it occurs to me all my questions that I had about heaven. Like, what am I standing on? I looked down, I saw 4x4 white tile. What do I look like? Am I still fat? I look down, my boobs are up here. My hands are young and healthy. My hair is long and healthy. I got my high school body. I'm like, yeah! I'm standing there, I'm looking around. I felt my mother and my grandmother come up behind me. This is a very good one too. I went to look to see them because I knew it was them. You know when somebody comes up behind you, it was just like that. I knew it was them. I went to look, and the voice said, no, we don't look back here. Everything is forward. And as much as I wanted to look at my grandma and my mom, I listened to that voice. So I turned back around, and I'm standing there, I'm waiting. And what do I say? Oh my fucking God, I'm here. And then I come up like that, and then boom, I was back. And then I thought I was paralyzed because I couldn't move. And they had me in a helicopter, and I couldn't move, and I was trying with all my might to move, and I couldn't move, and I was very aware. I was absolutely aware. And they're going, okay, well, let's just give her some pain meds. And I'm trying to tell him, no, I don't need pain meds. I don't want the pain meds. I couldn't feel anything. I felt great. I couldn't feel anything. And I was trying to tell him, and I was batting my eye, and I remember the one girl looking at me, and I was trying so hard to communicate. That was so scary. That was the hardest part about it. That was not actually dying, because dying doesn't hurt. It didn't hurt. It never hurt. It hurts to heal. And so then I was back, and ever since I came back, life's been pretty hell. My boyfriend died. My daughter almost died a couple of times. She got lost in the woods. I got over that boyfriend dying, and I had another boyfriend that I thought was safe because he was younger and he lived kind of far away, and we just would talk. He died. So I feel like this is hell. When people say, do you believe in hell? I believe this is hell. And we get to come down here and we get to experience things. And the sadness and the grief and the anger that we experience is really actually a blessing, because we don't feel that in heaven. And life is really short. And we only do this for a little while. Make the best of it, but learn from this life. Try not to have to come back here again. But it is, in the big picture, our choice. God gave us that free will, and he takes us and he loves us, and we are all welcome. And getting into heaven is a birthright. No one can take that from you.
Michelle, thank you for sharing your experience with us. It's fascinating that you saw your boyfriend there who was alive. Did you tell him about that? And if so, what did he say?
Oh yeah. I told him he was very intelligent, and he studied theology very much. And he would say that he would astroplane, and he said that he hung out in heaven a lot, and he wasn't surprised. And he acted very cool about it. But it kind of probably had to freak him out. But then he died suddenly. He had a heart attack, and he was only 49. He had a business. He was stressed out. He drank a lot since he was young. You know, not just drugs kill you. Lifestyle gets you. And when it's your time, I guess. The second boyfriend, he had Widowmaker as well. He was only 49. So yeah, I'm never dating anybody again, especially anybody like under 49, around that age.
Do you think that you were possibly talking to this boyfriend's higher self since he was still alive?
Yes, that is what he said. He thought that was his higher self. Now, what I think, because there's a couple things that over the time, because this, like I said, it's going to be 6 years. What's the date today? Oh my God. Today's the 13th, so tomorrow is actually the anniversary of my death. It'll be 6 years tomorrow. I was dead between the 14th and the 15th. I had heard, because I don't know the Bible that well, but someone had said once upon a time that when you die, the person you love the most is who greets you. And I always wondered, well, what if the person you love the most is here? How are they greeting you there? I think Jesus disguises himself as the person that you love the most so that you're not scared. Because I'm going to tell you what, once I saw him there, I was not scared whatsoever. And I thought that was very, very thoughtful of them to make that, like, they come. I don't know who, but they come when you die and they help you. You have a choice. You want to go to hell, if you think you deserve to go to hell, you go into whatever hell is. You probably just come back to earth. But I think you just come back to earth, because this is hell, especially what we got going on.
Well, you mentioned Jesus. Has your religious views changed since the experience?
So, unbeknownst to me, I actually came into the world a dead baby. And then somehow I wasn't. And my neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Chips, used to take me to Sunday school when I was a little girl, because I was the only child in the 70s. I'm a Gen Xer, and my parents were not around. So they would take me to Sunday school. So I learned about Jesus, and when I'm an only child, and I used to play with Jesus. Like I would sneak behind the couch when I was supposed to be in bed, and I would be alone, and I would talk to Jesus. I thought he was real. He is real. Is real, is real, is real. And so I've always had a relationship with Jesus. And growing up, I would pray for things that I wouldn't think would actually come. I have some amazing testimony of some prayers that I've asked for, and like the things that come, pretty much everything I have prayed for has come in some sort of way as a lesson or a blessing. You know, most of them are blessings. Everything's a blessing. Because sometimes the really bad stuff ends up being good stuff. Or you learn and you grow. Because we're all just here to learn and grow and love and help each other. And death is not the end. It is not the end. It is, we do not end. Our consciousness. This voice right here, the voice that I heard that was talking was right here. And like, the way it felt to me, like, I like to decorate things and I'm kind of a handy girl. So if I paint a room and I redecorate it and then I put it all back together and I stand back and I look at that room and I think in my head, wow, look what I did. It's so beautiful. I just love that. Look what I did. And those little things you think in your head when you're proud of yourself. That is the voice that I heard while I was there. That is the voice that was communicating.
Is that the voice that told you to go to the hospital?
No, I don't know where that voice came from because it was outside of me. I asked my psychiatrist about it, and she thought I was... What do you call that when you disassociate? She thought I was disassociated. I've been disassociated because I've had some trauma and some tumultuous things in my life. So I have been in the worst places possible. This was the most calm thing. My death was amazing. And I'm sorry I'm back, but I feel like I need to let people know not to be scared. Do not fear. Do not fear. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is loved. And we are all loved so incredibly much. So much. And we gotta love ourselves.
Was the voice male or female that told you to go to the hospital?
That's a question the judge asked me because I got pulled over and I had to give my story in court under oath. So it almost sounded like my grandma. It didn't really sound like male or female. It was just maybe more male because when it was telling me to hurry, go. So I would say a more masculine voice. But it was comforting and it told me what to do. Like I was definitely not alone. I was not alone. None of us are alone. We are so blessed. There's so many things that we cannot fathom with our brain. Because there was a moment while I'm standing there when I saw the animals